That is how the Premier League sounded across the talkSPORT network. Huge wins for Aston Villa, huge wins for Arsenal, huge win for Manchester United, who keep their run going. But I tell you what, Liverpool keep their run going as well. Yet another loss in the Premier League for Arne Slot's Reds after, a real big bang in Eintracht Frankfurt. 5-1, them winning, people thinking that they're back. But they get to Keith Andrews, Brentford at the G-Tech Stadium. Long throws, plus ball being on the floor as well. I saw Kevin Schade running through with the ball on the floor, ironically, so the ball wasn't in the air, so I don't know what Arne Slot's talking about there. But they lose again, and they're now 7 points adrift of the top team, Arsenal. What's going on at Liverpool, Dan? You're saying this is going to come to an end soon, but you've been saying that for about 4 games.
I think you've just made that up and just thrown something out there that I didn't say. You'll be hearing from my legal team after this show.
Well,
Flex.
after the shout of the City will go unbeaten thing.
That was years ago.
Exactly.
Get over it.
Last season.
Get over it. They're not going to continue losing, Liverpool. They will sort themselves out. They've got too many good players. I think he's doing a couple of things that aren't helping himself or the team at the moment. Arne Slot. Let's hope they don't win a game by playing direct football or with a long throw anytime soon, because it'll almost like it doesn't count with what he said after the Brentford and the Manchester United games. I think fundamentally, them and Arsenal both did a lot of business in the summer. The business that Arsenal did in the main, the players didn't need to come straight into the team, whereas the volume and the kind of fees that Liverpool paid for their players and the summer they had, some of it unforeseen and some of it not their fault, by the way, as well. Players had to come straight in. Now, they've ended up having to completely reinvent what they do. Sometimes in a football match, they'll have 3 different right-backs. That's not going to catch on. I've never seen a team do that before. They look disjointed, they look fragmented, but eventually he will land upon something that works, and when he does, that will be a group of players that's capable of going on a run and making up for what's happening at the moment with the constant run of defeats. At the moment, it will feel a long way off, but I remember we were sat here at the start of the season when Arsenal had lost to Liverpool and drawn with Manchester City, and everyone was saying, Liverpool are just going to run away with the league again, aren't they? Football changes, the Premier League changes month to month. I'm sure something will happen again. I still think Arsenal will win the league, but people are talking like Liverpool are just going to fall off the face of the earth, and it's not going to happen. It's just an unforeseen, really bad run at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's uncharted territory because it's unforeseen. Nobody saw this happening to Liverpool, and Liverpool are probably having the season that they thought they would probably have in the first year under Arne Slot. It's the first time he's put his imprint on the team. It's the first time they've made so many changes to the team. Some forced upon them, with obviously with Diaz, who wanted to go, with Trent Alexander, who wanted to go, and of course the tragedy with Diogo Jota, and some were ones that they wanted to make. They wanted to get Alexander Isak after getting Wirtz. They wanted to bring in Kirkes to replace Robinson because they think he's on the slide. They chose to do those things, and the problem that they've got is not only are the new signings, barring Ekatike, not really got going yet properly, they've also got their Hall of Famers that are not up to it right now. Mo Salah way off the ball. I know he scored a really good goal.
That
actually,
goal, by the way, was absolutely ridiculous.
that was like the Mo Salah of done nothing all game, but then he does that. So we'll see if that's for him on a personal what he needed to put the key in the ignition. We'll see. Virgil van Dijk way off it.
Do you think Van Dijk is way off it? I think he's exposed at the moment with what's going on around him.
He's way off it, mate.
Kirkes is never where a left back you would expect to be, which is obviously instructional in some
protection.
way.
One thing I've always said about Van Dijk,
all over the shop.
Yeah, but then there's been a few games where Ganate's been protecting Van Dijk and making sure he's actually all right.
No, I'm not having Van Dijk slander.
Mate, he's been way off it. He's been clumsy.
Look
He's
at
not
what's
want to
around
engage.
him.
You can't. No, he's Liverpool captain.
Yeah.
He's one of the best defenders, or according to Liverpool fans, the best defender we've ever seen in the Premier League. And now all of a sudden, nobody's protecting him. He can't defend. And you're letting him off the hook.
I'm not letting him off the hook, but there is a lack of midfield protection in front of him. Around him, Konate is just never doing things I would expect a competent centre-back to be doing. Behind him now, which they didn't need, by the way, they've got a new goalkeeper.
Midfield protection, they've got the same midfielders last year.
No,
they're playing, but they're the same guys.
They're playing a different system. It's not built in the same way as it was. 3 right backs per game. That's never going to catch on, as I've said. Liverpool could solve a lot of problems by putting Joe Gomez in the defence somewhere, whether it be at right back or next to Van Dijk.
I think he played particularly well one time against Southampton. He ain't been seen since.
Well, but I just think he'd offer a little bit of stability. If they could build up with a back three, if Gomez was at right back with him, Konate and Van Dijk, I think that would solid them up a little bit, and it would also give a bit more freedom to those that are playing in front.
Is there any way you can lose 4 games in a row in this day and age and still win a league? I saw a stat where the last time that happened, I think it was like, forgive me if I get this wrong, I think it was like Chelsea in like the 60s or something like that. But it doesn't happen very often.
Didn't Chelsea have a bad start under Conte? I'm not saying it was that bad.
No, 4 in a row.
No, not 4 in a row. They had a bad start, and then he landed on a system, and they went on an incredible run and won the
after
league.
Arsenal, I think they got beat like 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, and then he changed it.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool need that moment. They haven't had that moment yet where everything clicks or they make a change and suddenly just stumble upon something that works. Arne Slot and Liverpool need that right now, and they need it as soon as possible. Fingers crossed, not on Saturday when they're playing against my team. Yeah. I think that there's just two. Like, we can't sit here now and say, well, they shouldn't have signed Isak, because everyone would have agreed at the time that he was one of the best strikers in Europe.
The way it's transpiring, but we didn't know Ekitike was going to be this good. The way it's transpiring, maybe they shouldn't have signed him, Dan. Well, the way it's transpiring, if you've got Ekitike for 80 million quid and he looks pretty good to me, no, maybe they shouldn't have signed him. I think we can ask that question.
The whole summer was geared around getting him, though, wasn't it? They've researched that thoroughly and wanted to get him, so they were always going to do it.
They've done it over Newcastle to stop Ekitike going there and said, if you don't let us have all this stuff, and then they went and got him as well. And then he started like a house on fire. So Arne Slot has put the wrong guy.
It's not helped.
It's not helped at all. No. Over to Arsenal, because they're not blowing teams away, but they are getting the job done. And listen, I have to stick up for Arsenal.
Yes,
I have to stick up for Arsenal. I know you will as well, because I think it's absolutely ridiculous what's going on with people calling them boring, people saying they got no style, they don't score enough from open play. We heard Jeff Stelling. I saw the clip on talkSPORT with him being, sort of saying that it's a snore fest, or words to that veil. And I just think, realistically, people are bored of Arsenal not being able to be laughed at. People are bored because Arsenal won't concede. People are bored because Arsenal won't concede a shot. And people are bored because Arsenal keep winning. That's what it is. And Arsenal is synonymous with failure in recent history. They're synonymous with nearly men. They're synonymous with maybe playing attractive football but getting nothing for it. All these sort of things we want to label upon Arsenal's heads, which is usually true. But right now, none of that is true. Since when is having a top defence something to be negative? Since when did having Terry and Carvalho and Ashley Cole and
Chelsea
Ivanovic,
fans still talk about that, by the way, don't they?
Since when was having Evra, Vidic, Rio a bad thing? When was having Bold, Dixon, Keown and Adams? When was that? Why is that used as a stick to beat Arsenal with? I have no idea why. Apart from, I say we, because I've been there, we just like to hate Arsenal. We just like to laugh at them. But really, there's nothing to laugh at.
I once said on a stag do that what a man's boring is another man's fun, when people were trying to get me to do something that I didn't want to do. I don't watch Arsenal and think they're boring.
No, I don't.
I think they play effective football and they're playing winning football. It doesn't. At the end of the season, 38 games. If Arsenal win the league playing like that, Arsenal fans will not care one bit. They'll just be absolutely delighted. But they're not even, just because they score, look.
They're not in trouble in any of these games.
The fact that they're 17th in terms of got non-set piece goals is an incredible stat.
Yeah.
A team won't have the record that Arsenal have got being 17th in that metric. That would probably never have happened.
Yeah.
Football has changed, but when you get the volume of set pieces that Arsenal get, it's such a good trait to have. It's almost like a cheat code as well, because they know if a game's not going their way, every time they must get a free kick or a free kick in a dangerous position or a corner, they must think, we've got a sniff here, we've got half a chance here. And the opposition also, if a game's at 0-0 and it's finally balanced, the opposition, it gets in their head as well, knowing, they might score off this corner because they're so good at them. The deliveries that Rice and Saka put in, people will say it's boring and whatnot, but to me, that's good football. Having a player that can whip in a ball like Declan Rice or Saka, that's a skill. That's good football. If I'm an Arsenal fan sitting there watching that happen every week, I don't care. Exactly. It's effective. I'm seeing the ball go in the back of the net, which ultimately is what I want from football.
Arsenal are damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they were scoring loads of goals but conceding quite a few and were fifth, people would be like, why are you getting excited? They go and win like this and be boring Arsenal with George Graham in the stands.
Do you like watching them? Am I alone there?
I mean, a little bit, not a lot, because I'm a bit jealous, but in terms of like the admiration for how good they are and how inevitable they are,
This has been coming as well, a season like this for Arsenal.
But there's a long way to
of
go.
course.
You can't discount Liverpool, you can't discount City, and if they get to the end of the season with nothing, then again the hounds will be out, and rightly so, because something would have gone drastically wrong.